Major Tom, this is Houston, this is Major Tom. Fire engines. Okay, can you hear me, Major Tom? Okay, so here we go. So out we go. Here I'm sitting in my tin can, far across the world. Planet Earth is blue and there's nothing I can do. Okay, so there's the sun, okay, and this is actually 1,000 astronomical units, which is 150 billion kilometers. This is an astronomical unit is a distance between the sun and Earth, which is 150 million kilometers, and when you have 1,000 of them, that's 150 billion kilometers. And I'm just going to go back in again because you can see here, you see those 3 points of these 3 points of light here. That's the Voyagers 1, Voyagers 1, Voyagers 2, I think it's just there, Pioneer 2, and the other one here is Voyager 1. Oops, I've got the wrong one, hang on, I think this was this one here. And these are actually the furthest man-made objects in the solar system. There it is, just there. So these are approximately 20 billion kilometers from the sun, and in fact, they're actually in what we call interstellar space now. So these objects are heading out into the beyond. You know, there's nothing going to stop them. According to Newton's first law, they'll keep going and going and going until they go smack into a star sometime in the future. Wow. This is the Oort cloud, and this is where the comets come from. So, it's an icy bodies that surround the sun, and it's really what we're looking at here is the limit of the sun's influence on the solar system as such. So beyond this, it's really what we call deep space. And around here is 1 light year, and you can see that light year is the distance it would take for a light beam to travel from Earth to this circle here, which is approximately nearly 10 trillion kilometers. Okay, that's how far light would go. And at this particular point, you can actually see the closest stars. And we have just coming into view in just a moment is the Alpha Centauri system and Proxima Centauri, which are the 2 closest stars to Earth as such. This one's visible, this one's not. And just to give you an idea of the distance, if you went in an average spacecraft to Alpha Centauri, it'd take you about 70,000 years. Oh my God. That's to the nearest star. Okay, so what about now? All the other stars here are ones that we've seen. In fact, we've looked at some just when I came here last time. You'll see Vega. You remember we looked at Vega when I was last here? So that's where Vega is. It's one of the brightest stars in the sky. And then we are able to see Betelgeuse very clearly over here, which is part of the Orion constellation.
Such a cool name.
And Regulus, and then Arcana. Yeah. There's the Pleiades, which is the seventh system. There's Polaris just there, which is interesting because that's essentially, if we're looking down this angle, that's looking towards the north pole of Earth now. Okay. With Polaris in that position there. So
we saw Antares as well.
Antares we saw there. It is the supergiant star Antares. But this is what it's called, our sort of like our galactic hood, if you would. It's where we live in the galaxy. So we keep going out a little bit further, and we're just going to spin over like this, and you'll see something else coming up. Visible
globular cluster.
Yeah, globular clusters. Well, they're satellite galaxies that orbit around the outside. Oops, sorry. Yeah, they're small little fuzzy blobs, and I can show you one later on. But this is our Milky Way galaxy, and in the center here is the the supermassive black hole. But we can go further now, just to give you an idea of the immensity of all this. What I'm going to do now is to tell you that all of those white points of light you can see out there are galaxies, okay? And the question I always ask the kids is, how many galaxies have we seen